Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Raiders Daily. My name is Jackson. I post daily Raiders content, so be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you guys enjoy it. Stidham the stud almost led the Las Vegas Raiders to an upset victory over the San Francisco 49ers. They put up 34 points, and I do want to point out that the San Francisco 49ers have the number one ranked defense heading into the weekend. They were giving up about 15 points a game. 15 points a game. Now I get it. Stidham made some mistakes, but at the end of the day, he finished 23 of 34, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. There's a couple of things that are abundantly clear to me. Number one, the offense is extremely talented. I mean, it's just not even close. There are so many threats on the offense. Hopefully the Raiders pay Josh Jacobs 17 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. To me, against San Francisco and their crazy defensive line, their crazy defense in general, that's more than enough. That works for me. Davante Adams, 7 catches, 153 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That works for me. Darren Waller, 3 receptions, 72 yards, and a touchdown. So this offense, they have so many playmakers. They have so many threats. Now, I'm not necessarily sold on Jarrett Stidham being like the long-term quarterback. I get it. First-time start, whatever. You know, Josh McDaniels isn't going anywhere. That's kind of my second observation. He's just not going anywhere. No matter what anybody wants, Josh McDaniels will be the head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders next season, 100%. And finally, the defense sucks. I mean, I don't really think anybody is all that surprised with that. Once again, a bottom tier, one of the worst defenses in the entire National Football League. This season, though, it could have gone very differently. A bunch of scores or a bunch of losses with 1-score games. I still am so hopeful for this Raiders team. And at the end of the day, I'm very glad that they got the loss. Like, at this point, I'm playing for the draft. I went as high as a draft pick as possible. This is as good of a loss as you can possibly get. Your backup quarterback leads you into overtime at home, but it was kind of on the road. You know, you're playing a Niners team. Niners fans are just... they're so active in the West. They kind of run the West. I know Raiders fans don't necessarily want to hear that, but you guys get the gist. This is a rivalry game, and everybody was going to give everything. There were a lot of Niners fans in those bleacher spots. I can't blame Raiders fans, though, for selling their tickets or just Niner fans coming through because, you know, it really is a drastic 2 different seasons going on right now. But Jarrett Stidham, you know, we'll see how he plays next weekend against the Kansas City Chiefs, the best team in the AFC, in my opinion. We'll see, man. I would love to bring Jarrett back as not even necessarily as a bridge starter. I still imagine that the Raiders will figure something out with the quarterback position. I don't think it will be in the draft. I anticipate in the draft for them to go heavily defensive side, and that's what they should do. It really is. The defense really is that bad. And no disrespect to Brock Purdy or the Niners offense because they're still very talented, but you know, it's just been going on all season. The Raiders defense, they just have not stepped up this year. And it's crazy because it's a lot of similar names with some upgrades, guys like Chandler Jones from last year. And I get it, you know, the Raiders defense last year certainly wasn't perfect, but they definitely declined this year. It's weird because for the Raiders, like, you have McDaniels, you have Stidham. It feels very Patriot-y, which I'm not a big fan of, I will add. But at the end of the day, man, I just want to see the Raiders win football games. That's all I want to see. I just want to see victories. I want to see W's. No matter who's the quarterback, no matter who's the head coach, at the end of the day, I just want to see the Raiders win football games. So whatever happens, happens. At this point, you know, I would love for Derek Carr to return for the Las Vegas Raiders, but at the end of the day, I understand it. You know, he's a good quarterback, 100%. I get it. He hasn't won a playoff game for you. I understand it. New GM, new head coach. They're probably going to look elsewhere, and it is what it is, man. Football's a business. I definitely feel for Derek Carr, but at the same time, I am ready for somebody else. I'm ready for a breath of fresh air, and Jarrett Stidham definitely provided that for me this past weekend against San Francisco. He did have that costly pick there in overtime, which essentially won the game for San Fran, but like I said earlier, kind of glad the Raiders lost that game. I don't necessarily need these victories this late in the season. So let me know what you guys are thinking about this Raiders squad right now. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.